Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this presentation on Sage Enterprise Intelligence hosted by BAASS Connect Virtual 2021. My name is Jasdeep Bogal, and I'm Pre-Sales Engineer for Sage Enterprise Intelligence, and I will be walking you through this presentation today. So first of all, let us understand what is Sage Enterprise Intelligence. Sage Enterprise Intelligence, or in short, SEI, is a fully integrated business intelligence and data management solution that is offered on multiple platforms, which helps organizations make informed decisions based on the real-time data. With its simple interface, users can access and analyze data in a self-sufficient manner, thereby eliminating the need for disparate tools and specialized skills. So let us get right into the product demonstration and explore the various features and functionalities and platforms of Sage Enterprise Intelligence. We will begin by looking at the web application platform of Sage Enterprise Intelligence, which can be accessed on multiple browsers and is also available in multiple languages depending on the user base. Each SCI user further gets a unique username and password, and there are different security settings that can be tied to each login, making sure the users have access to the right information. And this is the main landing page as we log in into the solution, where we have access to the data models and views, dashboards, report designer, and also a section called favorites, all within the same application. So we have access to everything we need when it comes to data analysis and reporting. The tab here on the top, which is the data models and views, is the repository for all out-of-the-box templates, which are delivered from the day one of SCI's deployment. These templates are tailored to various ERPs, which would be Sage 300 in this case, and we can see the various modules such as accounts payable, receivable, finance, sales analysis, project and job costing, and each one of these data models further have their own set of reports, graphs, and charts, which are delivered out of the box. Another important point about these ERP-specific templates is that they are real-time, which means any of the transactions posted in ERP will be reflected into these reports right away. These templates are delivered out of the box for various ERPs, including Sage Intacct. On top of that, we also have the Universal Data Model, which is based on the OLAP Cube technology, therefore allowing users to connect not only to the ERP data, but also to the other sources of data, which could be their legacy systems or even the applications based in the cloud, for example, Salesforce. Currently, Universal Data Model is delivered for finance, sales, CRM, and inventory, and it comes with industry standard reports and KPIs. So let's go ahead and have a look at some of these reports and understand the main principle behind them. So we will begin by looking at one of the financial reports, detailed transactions. This report is a consolidated one where we can see the various companies as configured in the Sage 300 ERP. And the basic principle behind these reports is based on the groups, pivots, and columns, where we can enter various fields in the sequence of our choice, and the information that we will see in these reports further depends on the sequence in which the fields are placed. For example, in the groups, we have the company code, fiscal year, followed by fiscal period, and the GL account numbers. If you look at the groups column here, we start with the company codes, and further drilling down on one of these companies, for example, we will be able to see the fiscal year. Further drilling down on the fiscal year, we will be able to see the fiscal periods, and then GL account numbers, and we can even further drill down to see the raw level details such as the journal primary reference, the entry numbers, the transaction dates, so on and so forth. On the other side of the report, we also see the various columns which show us the metrics such as the source currency amount, the journal transaction amount, the quantity, and it's very easy to slice and dice the data on these reports. For example, if we want to bring in the GL account numbers as our first level of detail, we can simply grab the field and then place it exactly where we would like, and then the report would reload to show us the GL account numbers all listed here and showing us that as the first level of drill down. We can easily remove the fields that we might not want to see in the report anymore. And then using the dimensions and measures, which is one of the tools in the toolbar, we can go and grab new dimensions and measures, which all live here in these little catalogs. For example, we can bring in the information for fiscal year, fiscal period, fiscal adjusted, GL account numbers, the journal primary reference, the journal dates, the postings, the segment codes as defined within the ERP system. For example, if we would like to see the information on the journal date, we can simply grab the field, drag and drop that into our groups, and the report will reload to show us the data for various journal dates, and we can then further see the GL account numbers as per the dates. The Universal Data Model for Finance offers a lot more industry standard reports with hundreds of different KPIs. So let us go ahead and explore some of these out-of-the-box reports as well. Let's open income statement. And with the help of the selection page here, we can easily define what exact information we would like to see as the report loads. And then we have access to the standard structure of the income statement report, where we have sales, cost of goods sold, and expenses, which we can further drill down to see the various account codes which come under each one of these, and go down to the document numbers, and even bring in the new dimensions and measures from the toolbar as we saw before. One of the main advantages of Universal Data Model is that it provides hundreds of different pre-built KPIs, which we can simply bring into these reports, therefore giving us a very good starting point when it comes to reporting and analysis. For example, actual posting here has debit, credit, variance percentage, year to date, we have actual rolling 12, budget and actual mix measures, and depending on what we would like to see as our KPIs into this report, we can simply grab those fields, one or multiple at the same time again, and simply drag and drop them into the report, therefore giving us two new columns into this report, showing us the postings for rolling 12 and last year, and we can further see the details as we drill down on this report. We can also use the pivots to easily see the data by comparing the various dimensions together. For example, if you would like to see this income statement by quarter, we can grab the field and drop that into the pivots. And as a result, we will have this different layout of the report where we are comparing the various postings by keeping our quarters side by side. Similarly, we can bring in the various dimensions such as company code, cost centers, departments, segment codes, and see the postings as we would like. And users can always come and save the changes, where they have the ability to publish it for themselves or for everyone to see these reports. And they can even set up various prompts or selection pages for defining what exactly they would like to see as the report will load. Users can also use SEI for creating financial budgets and sales forecasts. For example, the Universal Data Model for Sales provides a data model where users can come in and create the forecasts by quarter, month, or week. Here is an example of a sales forecast worksheet, which is also having data entry features enabled. The data entry feature allows users to come into these budgeting and forecasting worksheets and manually change any numbers if needed. Let's say if we would like to change this amount of 86,000 to a higher amount, which could be 120, we can enter that amount, and then once we hit enter, it will save the amount right away by also affecting the totals row on the top. Once the forecasts are created, they can further be sent out for approval by the managers, and once approved, they can then be incorporated within the dashboards to compare the actuals versus forecast or budgeting figures. Speaking of the dashboards, SEI provides many out-of-the-box dashboards which are specific to Sage 300 and other ERP systems such as Sage Intacct. So we will open one of these dashboards, let's say financial performance. These dashboards are extremely powerful as they can bring in the different reports and visualizations from the different data models and give us a good understanding of how our business is going. For example, there are various KPIs represented as visualizations here, such as return on assets, working capital ratio, debt to equity ratio, the inventory, cash, and even some of the worksheets where we can have the ability to drill down to see the details for various postings and accounts. The filtering panel on the top of these dashboards help us easily filter on the data. For example, if we would like to see the data for a different fiscal period, let's say 4, we apply that filter and it readily changes everything on this dashboard based on our selection. These dashboards are also customizable, which means users can come and edit these dashboards, resize the various visualizations, or simply remove them and grab any of the reports that they would like to see as a replacement into these dashboards. For example, if we would like to see posting analysis as a worksheet, we can simply drag and drop that into the dashboard. And as a result, we have a completely new worksheet integrated within this dashboard. Let's also have a look at one of the sales dashboard here. In this dashboard again, where we are looking at a lot of different KPIs such as invoice quantity, the cost, margin, and comparing it against the values from the last year. There are also many other visualizations such as the map right here, which is showing us the data for the states where we had the sales. The different shades of the color in this map show us how big or small the deal is, and hovering onto these states can show us exactly what the amount is. We can also make these views talk to each other. For example, if we filter on Washington as our state, the information that we see on this dashboard now is only related to the state of Washington, as that's the selection we just made. We can also easily spot any of the anomalies in the data and then connect back to the worksheets which hold the underlying data. For example, in the visualization right here, which is comparing the top 10 products this year versus last year, we can see that the product aspirin has not done as well as its sales from the last year. So we can click on the bar representing aspirin product and link this to the existing worksheet within SCI. Once we select the worksheet that we would like to go into, the filter is applied exactly on the same product as seen in the dashboard, and then we can use the drill down ability in these worksheets to see further details about the product. For example, here we can see the aspirin is sold in all of these cities, and further looking at the information here in the quantity, we can easily tell that Hamburg is the city where we had the lowest sales of aspirin. Now we can go even a step further to find out who is the sales rep for the city of Hamburg. For that, we can always go back into dimensions and measures and bring sales rep ID into our groups. And drilling down on Hamburg, we will be able to find out that Hans is the sales rep for the city of Hamburg. Now we can get in touch with Hans and ask him if he needs any help with the sales by using the sharing and distribution side of SCI. One of the tools here in the toolbar is called sharing, which has multiple options for us to collaborate with our teams in a safe and secure manner. For example, we can export these worksheets in a format of our choice, such as PDF, Excel, or we could also send a comment on these reports and then use the tools like markers to highlight the information or make any annotations on this report, and finally send to whoever we would like to share this information with. And the remarks that we create will be sent out as an attachment with the email. And one of the most important sharing tools is the subscribe. With the help of subscribe tool, we can choose on how we would like to receive these reports, whether by email or simply saving that on our network drive, send it to the other recipients, and set a schedule on how often we would like to receive these reports. So if it is 9 a.m. every Monday and Thursday of the week, that's all a user would have to do when it comes to setting the schedule, hit subscribe, and then SCI automates the process of sending out these reports on a regular basis, as per the time which is chosen by the user. There's a more advanced side when it comes to subscribing to these reports, where users can create what we call as the reporting packs. This tool here helps users to select as many reports they would like to include in a reporting pack, which would bundle all these reports together and keep them in one nice PDF format, which can be easily shared across the teams. If there are any reports sitting in Excel, they can easily bring them in with the help of this option, create consolidated reporting packs, give it a name, add a cover page, which comes with the ability to include the images or logos of the companies, add table of contents, which will list all the different reports that the user would like to include in the reporting pack, and as seen before, finally set the schedule of their choice. With the help of Report Designer section, users can add more aesthetic touches to their reports. For example, right here in this income statement, we have a title here on the top, which also further includes the dynamic variables such as fiscal year and fiscal period, depending on what exactly we filter on as the report loads. And then each section of this report can further be broken down into subsections. For example, sales has its own custom calculation for totals, same goes for expenses, net income, and this section also allows users to set up their own reporting trees. Now, a reporting tree is a set of different filters which users can set up based on their company's hierarchy. For a multi-company ERP such as Sage 300, where users have multiple companies set up, users can use this tool to its fullest. They can set up a filter for seeing the consolidated postings of the companies at large. By clicking on that, they will be able to see all the postings of the various companies put together, and then they can further go into the various regions where they have their operations. And these regions could have different companies. So clicking on the company, they will be able to see the postings particular to that company. These companies could further have the various sites or department codes. And then clicking on the sites, for example here, they will be able to see the postings specific to that site. What we see here is an example of a reporting tree set up on a financial report. But it is not only limited to financials, but users can use this reporting tree for the sales operations, for warehousing, so on and so forth. Users can also take advantage of SCI's second platform, which is the SCI Excel add-in. This tool combines the data extraction and calculation abilities of SCI with the power of Excel. Here are some of the sample reports which have been created using the Excel add-in tool, such as financial analysis, income statement, trial balance, balance sheet, and some of the dashboards using various visuals by extracting the data from the database. SCI's Excel add-in comes with over 25 different tools which users can use to create the reports within Excel. For example, data extraction, where they can easily pick the data model that they would like to work on and choose the various dimensions they would like to include as they start building the report by applying the various filters. For example, fiscal year could be defined by simply selecting the cell, and then we can order the data also by choosing the dimension of our choice and then further choosing the order in which we would like to see the dimension. And then the various calculations on these reports can be easily done with the help of Formula Visit, where again users can go and pick the data model of their choice, the field that they would like to use for the calculation, and the operation that they would like to do on that field. By choosing the various dimensions here and applying the various filters with this easy pick and choose functionality, we can have the calculations done on the fly without having to type these big formulas here. The more advanced features include formula drill down, where users can choose all the fields or very specific fields to see the details about various account codes. Or we can use a duplicator tool to create this multiple copies of the same report spread across various dimensions. For example, fiscal period. And if we would like to see the same financial performance report in the background for the first 6 fiscal periods, we can easily apply that dimension right here. And as a result, we have 6 new spreadsheets here, each one of them keeping exactly the same layout as the original report, but showing us the postings and the figures for various fiscal periods. We can also use the pivot table to dump the data directly into the pivots and use that at any time for analysis, even when we are on the go and not connected to the internet. We can create the static copies and share them across the teams, or bring them back into the SCI's web application to schedule their distribution, and even use the reporting tree feature we just saw in the web application to easily filter based on the company's hierarchy. So now you might be asking yourself, why Sage Enterprise Intelligence? Well, there are many advantages of the solution. First one being the seamless integration with Sage ERPs. As we saw in this presentation today, we have integration with Sage 300, but the list goes on when it comes to integration with Sage X3, Sage 500, Sage Intacct, and many other ERPs. It is a comprehensive business intelligence solution which eliminates the legacy systems and all the manual work which comes with it. Its easy to use and intuitive interface makes it the BI solution of choice for thousands of users out there. SCI allows users to have multi-source data access, so they are not only limited to their ERP data, but they can also connect to data coming from other sources, both on-prem and in the cloud. It is scalable for companies of any size. It increases the company-wide productivity and decision-making, and with its out-of-the-box templates, which are tailored to various ERPs, users have a very good starting point where they do not have to build all of the reports from the scratch. There's a low total cost of ownership of this product, and it is also a fully cloud-enabled solution. And here is what one of our customers has to say. Initially, they were running reports, exporting to Excel, and manually combining and manipulating their data into consolidated statements. Now they use SCI, and they have streamlined all their financial and sales reporting and have shed hours of these processes. As a result, it has improved their accuracy and has also allowed more time to be spent on more important business needs. That brings us to the end of this presentation, and I hope that it provides you a good idea of the various functionalities and capabilities of Sage Enterprise Intelligence. Myself, Jasdeep Bogle, thank you all again for joining us today on this presentation, and please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you and have a great rest of the day.